branch off with Sanctuary of Reality, my comic review series. Time now for Cerebus issue 228, the 9th chapter of Rick's story. The next day, Cerebus enters the tavern with full intention of telling Rick that he's leaving immediately. But he instead finds Rick with a branch, reciting a binding spell in various spots around the bar, causing a minuscule version of the Infinity Serpent to slither around and end up trapped in the Book of Rick. Why is he doing this? Apparently, Joanne mentioned that Cerebus claimed to have been married to Jaka, his ex-wife. Cerebus tries to explain. Echoes of various locations and aspects of the past reverberate around him as he's prevented from telling the truth about it, ending up with an aspect of himself trapped within the book as well. Rick breaks the branch into pieces, spreading them around the bar as he concludes the spell. Rick tells Cerebus that they'll see each other once more after today, and then tells him goodbye. Cerebus tries to tell him what Bear said to him when he left, but it comes out all wrong. Rick tells Cerebus the same thing he told Joanne. Go to hell. Rick leaves, and Cerebus feels free at last, no longer burdened by the girly boy. He's left wondering what the deal with the container spell was, as it lacked the usual ingredients associated with the magic spell. Cerebus pokes one of the branches and gets sprayed with water, only to suddenly find himself trapped within invisible barriers. Boxed in within the walls of the tavern, will Cerebus ever be able to leave? This is the first instance of magic being used in the book in a long time. Like, what was it, back there in the first book with Henroth the Wizard and Magus Doran mentions throughout, maybe? I don't know. It's hard to believe this was once a sword and sorcery parody book. Well, they didn't name the Cerebus Syndrome trope after the series for nothing. Still, it's neat to see a forgotten aspect of the series return suddenly, even if it's probably the last time it actually will. Rick telling Cerebus to go to hell actually is a recurring motif. Cerebus told President Weishaupt this back during Church and State, and Astoria told the Lion of Saria the same also later on in Church and State. It's a nice callback to those moments, though it does lack a little of the punch that those other two had, considering there were deaths involved. This is a solidly done issue, though it's actually a little tough to follow because it's mostly told entirely visually. Dave Sim has explained exactly what is going on with the little tiny Infinity Serpent that looks like Mr. Mind from Captain Marvel in an interview. I highly recommend searching out for this interview to find out more, but I'll distill it down to this. Apparently, Rick's spell exorcised Cerebus of his magnifier effect, or at least the majority of it. You'll also notice that it took away most of Cerebus' inner voices. Rick, despite the fact he's become basically the prophet of God, slips into using some very unholy magic when his status as Jaka's ex-husband is threatened by Cerebus. Rick makes his final appearance in the series here, though you will see him for at least 2 more cameos coming up, though they're very unique moments and worth looking out for. Next time, a new bar patron appears. Finally!